Lights out for Lori. Chicago Mayor Lori Lightfoot suffering a humiliating re-election defeat that should put progressives everywhere on notice. Voters kicking Lori to the curb after enduring 4 years of her insane liberal crime policies. I guess folks got tired of living in a crime-ridden nightmare where you constantly have to dodge gunfire even inside your own home. And maybe businesses didn't really like all their stuff being looted in a smash and grab. We all know her atrocious track record: murder, robbery, theft, all up big. It seems obvious to everybody why she lost, but she's blaming it on sexism and racism and thinks she did a bang-up job.
I'm grateful that we worked together to remove a record number of guns off our streets, reduce homicides, and started making real progress on public safety. We fought the right fights, and we put this city on a better path. In the end, you don't always win every battle, but you never regret taking on the powerful and bringing in the light.
And if you're worried about her future, don't. Lori has other skills to fall back on.
Come on, baby, don't you wanna go?
All right, well, against my better judgment, I'm going to go to you first, Jessica. Tell us what this means for the Democratic Party.
Well, a Democrat is still going to be the mayor of Chicago, so it means that we still have that.
Right.
But you're about to see, which will be interesting in the runoff, kind of the battle for the soul of the party, right? What's going on here with a more conservative candidate and then a more progressive candidate. So this isn't the end of progressivism in Chicago at all. So Johnson, who's the more progressive candidate, is arguably more progressive than Lori Lightfoot even is.
But he's probably not going to win.
He's probably not, but there is this interesting thing, which I haven't seen that much discussion of, you know, who is going to get the Hispanic vote? Because Garcia, who was one of the candidates who didn't make the runoff, had majority of the Hispanic vote in Chicago. That is huge. And Johnson is the black candidate. We'll see what happens there. Basically, what happened, there were 6 black candidates in this, and the vote got split a lot. And Johnson ended up getting kind of the last-minute surge in black support. But you don't really know where it's going to go because Vallis, am I pronouncing it correctly? Vallis has the much tougher on crime set of policies. He's happy that he's the, quote, enemy of the teachers union at this point. Those are things that could actually resonate with a lot of minority voters. So my assumption is, and people, local Chicago strategists are saying that he will be the one who wins this, but it's going to be interesting to watch kind of a more of a Joe Manchin, let's say, candidate play out against more of an AOC candidate in the runoff. So.
Let's stomp on Lori's political grave a little bit harder, Judge.
Okay. Well,
Thank you. That's what I was looking for there.
Yes. Her loss is a win for the people of Chicago. This is a woman who didn't understand her constituents, who didn't understand that the first order of government is the safety of its people. Her policies damage Chicago politically, economically, sociologically. I lived in Chicago for 4 years. I lived on Michigan Avenue. And I mean, that city, you don't even, half the businesses are closed there. And now I understand the clearance rate for homicides is at 50%. When the truth is, we've got DNA, we've got phones, we've got, I mean, you look at the Murdaugh trial, the whole case is circumstantial with telephone records and all that other stuff. But, you know, even her personality, the New York Times said that she created feuds and all kinds of insults against people. And this is a woman who, for a time, only wanted to speak with black journalists. OK, I mean, and it is, I think, a test of the Democrats' crime message. And I think that's why Vallis is going to win. We picked him the other day. You know, when you say that you're only going to talk to journalists of color, you know, she ought to think about taking care of victims of color, because she didn't take care of victims of color, starting with the south side of Chicago. And she could have done that. She has a lot of power, but her crime is up, what is it, murder rate 59%? And she just said that they cut back on the murder rates or something bizarre like that. And let her sing and dance away to her next job. But she hasn't made anyone's life safer or better. Good riddance.
Yeah, a lot of people very happy in the city of Chicago today.
Yeah, I imagine. And also, I mean, it had to have been hard when de Blasio left office, because he was the worst mayor in America.
Right.
And she was the second worst mayor in America. And then she became the worst mayor in America. And she fought everybody. She was always in a fight every single day. And there was no humility. There was never a moment of let's try something different. It was just always just fighting with everybody. And then she says that this is because I guess the voters of Chicago are sexist and racist. But you can be an African-American woman in politics as a mayor of a big city and win re-election. Muriel Bowser did it in Washington, D.C., and she got reelected by a huge margin. They also have crime problems there. Washington, D.C. has got a lot of problems, but she got reelected. Keisha Lance Bottoms was the mayor of Atlanta. She decided not to run for a second term, but I bet she would have won as well. This is also interesting about how people, if they decide to make a change, they can. Chesa Boudin getting recalled in San Francisco is an example, but then you have something like Larry Krasner in Philadelphia where that doesn't work. But I think there's been enough examples that if people want to make a difference, you can do that. And a lot of problems have been from the liberal prosecutors, but progressivism in many of these cities is leading them down a wrong path. This hopefully is a warning sign to others.
Yeah, we've had a few of these warning signs, Greg.
Oh, I'm going to miss her.
You are?
You are.
She brought me so much joy, even though she brought everyone else pain. That little garden gnome. But she says she lost because she's a black woman and that she's being held to a higher standard. And apparently that higher standard is competence. Because she was a historical first. She was the first black lesbian mayor of Chicago. Now she's another historical first. She's the worst mayor that Chicago's ever had. She will go down in history a couple of times. But what's interesting to me about this is, why is this news? Why are we so relieved? You know, it's like somebody who is the worst mayor in the country, it should have been a foregone conclusion that she was going to lose. But we didn't really know, because there's a sense of ambivalence about this sort of progressivism that, like, she is bulletproof. Left-wing, black, female, lesbian, made her immune to criticism. There was nothing you could do. Like, people were complaining about her forever, and that was where her arrogance came from. She knew that if you went after her, she would come after you with a rant that accused you of being a homophobic racist. So that imperviousness allowed her to kind of basically do whatever she wanted, get in all these feuds, completely ignore the suffering of her constituents, because she knew that she had a moat. She had a moat, the same way Don Lemon had a moat, right?
A woke moat.
A woke moat. Ooh, that's beautiful. But it's a lesson, like, you shouldn't be picking your politicians or based on what box they tick or if they look like you. You owe them nothing. You owe them nothing, especially when they expect that privilege from you while they destroy a city. It's like, I hope people are like, you know what? It doesn't matter what skin color they are, who they sleep with. You know, if they're going to make your cities safer, vote for them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And she did just the opposite.
Yeah.
She said, you cops can't chase suspects. It was like, you know, if you lose them, just let them go. It's all right.
Yeah.
We have lost a few good ones. We've lost Cuomo and Lori.
You know what, though? She could do the 8 o'clock hour on CNN, right?
Problem solved.
Yes.
Hi, everyone. I'm Brian Kilmeade. I want you to do me a favor. I want you to click to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page. This is the only way that I know for sure that you're not going to miss any great commentary, any great news bites, any great interviews coming your way on Fox. You can get it all here on YouTube. So subscribe right now.